My people, how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This one now, Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency, Oyendo Mazenam Kano. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless. Oh my God, I'm mercy. Elias is talking, my people. Elias is now a content creator. Elias. Let me get back to the intro. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Biafra, USB, His Excellency, ESN, Ekpa, Simon and Joko, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you, because we know in your hands Biafra is coming, in your hands Biafra is safe, and in your hands that Biafra has come. The people of Biafra will rejoice. When I say the people, I mean the men, the women, the children, the old, the young, the sick, the mild, the civilized and the uncivilized, those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. I repeat, those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. We shall all come together under one voice, under one accord, under one union, and scream for Hallelujah Day, the day that the God of Biafra has made. My people, what is going on here? Media at war. They call it what? The media war. Media war is taking place before your eyes. I told you, Biafrans, lend me your ears. All this while, I keep on warning you, say, I don't make mistake. The first time we saw the one they called Gentle Diawu, he was doing his own thing. The other one, our sister, Ada Diolama, despite she apologized, but she backslided and she said something that she wasn't supposed to say. The other one we saw, Madam Ada Onowu, she came out yesterday and was speaking, talking about granite and flashlight. A woman in her 70s, that she should be relaxing and enjoying the fruit of her labor. But instead, she's speaking about war stories, flashlight and granite, discussing the thing that we, the men, should be discussing. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. And today, the one they call Elias Gerasoulis, he's here. He's now part of the media men. My people, make we not hear what he talk. Come and see you, come and see. Come and see what the Lord has done to you. Come and see what the Lord has done. Bianuleo. Bianuleo. Bianuleo chideke mermo. Bianuleo chideke mermo. Make we not come see you. This one pass me. I can't believe this. What you're about to hear is Elias Gerasoulis. He will start doing his own broadcasting, discussing Biafra. He's now a media warrior for Biafra. His own job role or assignment is to be enlightening us, as he said. What a shame. Oh my God. But like I said, I will allow the government of Biafra, USB, to deal with this. Right now, I will support him to hear what he has got to say. Make we hear what he talk. But I told you, the power of the dollars is real. Dollars is real, you know. Money, power, respect, the key to life. Money. First, you get the money. After the money, you get the power. From the power comes respect. Money comes first. That $10,000. Now big money. Now big money. Now he's out of his comfort zone. And now he's broadcasting. Hell! Chukwago. My people, without any much further ado, make we hear Elias Gerasoulis. I will not interrupt him. I will allow him to speak. You'll be the judge. I believe you guys, you are mature enough. You've gotten the gospel all this while. You heard the gospel of Nnamdi Kanu. You heard the message of Simon Ekpa. And today, we are hearing from Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE. You've also heard from me all this while. So all I'm saying is, in the next 90 days and counting, Simon Ekpa will be here. Biafrans, hold your fort. Hold your position. Hold your throne, maintain your lane, because in the next 90 days and counting, Simon Ekpa will be here. Please, Adebeguna. This is strange. This is unprecedented. What we are seeing happen now, it is unprecedented. that a lobby man has been called the legal person. From the legal now, they are calling him a broadcaster. Okay, NKERE, the money man. I thought you were the millionaire. How come? Just to raise 10,000 for this man, you have tasked him to come and be speaking online. Biafrans, you be the judge. Let the dead bury the dead. I always say it. Give what belongs to Caesar, and to God to God. Biafrans, you be the judge. Make we not hear what him got to talk. He's got the message. Make we hear him now, because he said he wants to speak to the Biafrans. So I implore you all to please listen to Elias Gerasoulis. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
My name's Elias Gerasoulis, and I'm the lobbyist, the international lobbyist for the Biafra Public Government in Exile. This will be the first in a series of broadcasts addressed to the people of Biafra. I've been compelled to begin these broadcasts because of what I have seen, and it seems to me that Biafrans are in desperate need of guidance and insights, and my own spirit has guided me in this direction. We have seen much chaos and much confusion over the past few months in the Biafra space, and I've concluded one of the biggest issues is the, unfortunately, unreasonableness and inability to reason of some of our Biafran friends. So you could view this series as an educational opportunity where you can come and become educated and become enlightened and learn how to think properly and reason properly.
Wow.
Because this is one of the biggest issues that I've seen, and we need people in our movement to be thinking in a coherent manner.
Wow.
If we are going to defeat the zoo, if we're going to defeat Nigeria, which are very formidable enemies, we can't be, opposing the zoo with no brain.
Woo.
We need to be smart. We need to be strategic. We have to be able to think in a coherent manner if we're going to take on these very serious and formidable adversaries.
What an insult.
Unfortunately, we have the inability to reason, the lack of reasonableness, and also this tendency towards self-destruction as well amongst our Biafran friends. And I think, as I said in a previous interview broadcast, Biafrans have a unique combination of being one of the world's most talented people, intelligent people, but also extremely have a propensity towards extreme self-destruction and self-sabotage. And unfortunately, the enemies of Biafrans have a very good understanding of what the weaknesses of Biafrans are, and they are very adept at exploiting those weaknesses. So if we want to move past that, I encourage all Biafrans to begin listening to the broadcasts that I will be doing, to learn how to think logically, to think reasonably, in order to not constantly fall into these constant traps,
What an insult.
The result of which is continued servitude to the zoo, to the Fulani, and to the British. Now, to be constructive here, I will address one topic today because the issues of foolishness, of lack of reasonability, of self-destruction are very, very multifaceted. It will require a lot of education,
foolishness,
imparted from me to make a difference in this area. So this requires more than one episode. This will have to be a constant dialogue between me and the Biafran people. But I will be focusing today on one particular area that I would like my Biafran friends to work on. Now, it's very interesting. Since I've been involved in this movement, since Divine Providence connected me with Simon, I've been witness to many saboteurs, to many people who have been causing problems. And in every experience that I have had, most of the people who have been problematic or who cause problems all have one personality trait in common, which I found very interesting. This is a very fascinating observation. They all had the personality trait. And again, they did not say this explicitly.
Okay.
Right? They didn't come out and say this, but it just emanates out of them of I am the king or I am the queen. And if I'm not in charge or if it's not me, then I must burn down everything and destroy everything. Now,
that's not true. Hold on there. Hold it there, Mr. Elias Gerasoulis. That's not true. What you need to do is do a deep research of who the Biafrans are. Do a deep research to know who we are. Even in America, do your research about the Igbo landing. We are people that don't bow down to criminals. Do your research on Igbo landing. How some Biafrans were caught by the white man, sold by our neighbors. And in our sojourn, we were able to overpower the captains and the seamen on that boat. But unfortunately, the moment we had our chance and opportunity to strike, the boat was already in America. And after our conquest, we came outside, looked out from the boat, and saw a foreign people all across us. White people everywhere coming towards the boat, which means we were still in a catch-22 situation. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. We're in a dilemma. And we are not the type that bow down or back down to oppression. We fight to the end. And even when our back was on the ground, or when our back was on the wall, we did the unthinkable. Because we knew where we came from. We knew our essence. We knew our gods. We commended our spirit to the God of the sea. So in a formation, all the Igbos, all the Biafrans, we came down from that boat while the slave catchers were coming from the other field, wondering how come it's only the black and the white people are out there and there's no white captain, shouting ahoy from that boat. So while they were coming with their, muskets, their gunpowders and the rest, we commended our spirit, mind, body, and soul to the God of the sea. And in a formation, we walked into the river. It was a big shock to the white slave masters, seeing what they saw. Hence, they wrote about it. The Igbo landing. So that's who we are. In our culture, we say the Igbos don't have a king. That's who we are. It's our culture. When we see something is going wrong, you must convince us. You cannot, force us into something. You cannot come and speak like you are higher than us, saying you are here to teach us, calling us all sort of, insulting and derogatory words, thinking we are beneath you or something. With all due respect, don't do that. That would be a very big mistake. Thinking that you are addressing people who are of low IQ, don't do that. I'll calm down. Let me fall back because my intention is just to hear you speak. You said you'll be doing a series of videos. So let me give you the floor. Speak. I'll fall back. Let me hear you speak. But please be mindful that we ain't stupid. Never in your life assume that the Biafrans are stupid. We ain't. Man for man, intellect for intellect. We ain't stupid. So be careful with your words next time. I wasn't happy with your introduction. There were some few things you were saying that were a bit, uncalled for. I'll be careful. But be careful with the way you address us going forward. But let me just hear you because my intention is just to hear you for the first time. I've not even listened to this video, but I wasn't happy with some of the words you were using, the words you were using to describe us. That's wrong. But let's continue.
We need to look at this sociologically. One of the reasons why Biafrans or the Igbo people are enormously successful is, as they like to say, you like to say, you are Republican in nature. Yes, you are what I would call part of an acephalous society, meaning without a head, right? So you come to decisions through consensus. You are much more democratic in nature than many of your neighboring counterparts. And because of that, you have a society that's based on achievement and individual initiative. And that's a primary reason why the Biafrans, the Igbos, are enormously successful. But as a mentor of mine once said, your strengths can also be your weaknesses, and your weaknesses can also be your strengths. So there are positives to this, but there are also potential downsides to this. One of the phrases that I found interesting that came up on several occasions was in Biafra land or in Igbo land, there is no king, there's no queen. Everyone is the king and queen of their own household, right? Now, this is very important. I think one of the problems is that people take this phrase of there is no king, there is no queen, everyone's the king or queen of their own household, right? And they completely misinterpret that or reinterpret that to I am the king and I am the queen, right? So because of this, you have some Biafrans who are very prideful, very egoistic, very conceited, to the point where, regardless of how naturally intelligent they may be, their conceit makes them daft and foolish.
Oh my God! This guy is going hardcore on us. This guy is dropping bombs, man. Elias, what's up for you, man? Why are you angry? Money is good, though, my people. Money, ego. Ego Yibo, ego Yibo, one name more, ego Yibo, ego Yibo. When the money starts to dry up, people become desperate. I told you guys, what you don't know is bigger than you. At this point, let me just make him understand. When we say the Igbo has no king, in every home, we are not kings. There is a leader in the household, the head of the home, in most cases. But when it comes to looking at, this thing about the Igbos not having a king or a queen or whatever, what we have is more of a democratic system. We're not the oldest person, but the person with the most experience will speak and delegate the community. When we are having a round table discussion, the Omona discussion, when the most experienced, not the oldest person, because there's a difference between an old man and an elder. When the most experienced person, the wisest of them all, when he raises a topic, a question, a concern that needs to be voted on, the people, the kindred, the age grade will not have to sit down and dialogue and then come with a resolution. But in the other tribes, the king does no wrong. Whatever the king says goes in the other tribes. But in our own situation, we have what you have that is called a senate. Yes, there might be somebody at the throne, but that doesn't mean that person, his words will become law. That's not how it's done. So that was why even Britain, when they came to Biafra land, they struggled and they were angry. Because their principle of the indirect rule wasn't that effective in Biafra land. But when they went to the north, where the Fulanis and the Hausas were, it was a clean sweep. All you need to do is to control one man, one person. One man had all the power. Just one man had all the power. So all they had to do is to, cajole him, trick him, give him some goods and all those things, exchange some stuff through their barter system. And before you know it, once the man is won over, whatever he says to the people, they follow. Same with the Yoruba tribe. Unfortunately, they have their KBACs, their Oba system, and the same thing happened. But when it came to the land of Biafra, Britain was shocked by what they found. That we're implementing a system or practicing a system similar to what they had in Britain. So they were very, very angry about it. Hence, they planted a seed of discord where they told those in the north they were born to rule and all those things. They said they should keep an eye on the Igbos. Don't trust them. They do too much. They know too much. So that's where it came from. What saved us was our culture made sure Britain could not come to penetrate us. So please be careful when you try to, misinterpret our culture and trying to say that we are being stubborn or we think we are king or we have to be the person to lead. That's not the truth. That's not who we are, with all due respect. So, but please be careful. Your next video, you have to calm down when you speak to us. Please calm down. Be careful with the words you use when you are addressing us. This is the first time I'm seeing you sound this way. Normally, you're very calm when you speak, but the words you're choosing to pick and use to describe us is a bit alarming. I'm not happy about that. But I know this is your first video. Hopefully, in the next and subsequent videos, you'll be a bit respectful when you speak to those who are paying you every month. We are the ones paying your bills. Don't forget that. Okay? We are the ones paying your bills. As I say, the customer is always right. Customer is king. So we are the ones paying you. Be careful how you address us. But I'll give you the floor. Continue.
That they engage in these self-destructive activities because, right, if your attitude is, I'm the king, I'm the queen, the Americans have a phrase about someone's floating on cloud 9, but given my experience with Biafrans, these people are floating on cloud 100, right? So you have one person's a king floating on cloud 100, I am the king, another Biafran lady thinks they're the queen floating on cloud 100. They're up there. There are other, let's say, Biafrans who think I'm the king, I'm the queen, also floating on cloud 100.
That's not us, my brother. This, what you're saying is a wrong, description of us. We're in the type that say king or queen. It's not even in our lexicon. We don't believe in this king or, king stuff and queen stuff. That's not who we are. So you're a bit wrong, or you are juxtaposing the culture in the Black Americans, the African Americans, where they always say king and queens, what's up king, what's up queen. I understand where you're coming from, being the American background, but we the Biafrans, we hardly say king or queen. We don't say that. What we say is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa. We respect the Mazi than king or queen. It's not part of us. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. I am sorry. You are wrong in that perspective. You're wrong. We don't say king or queen. We don't see ourselves as king. I'm the king. No. We are Mazi. The word Mazi means, I think you believe it means Mr. So we are very, very humble. We are Democrats by nature. You understand? Or you can call us a chief when someone has a chieftaincy title, but the title is ascribed to a particular, distinct position that you hold. You are not a chief to everybody. You are a chief of a particular stuff, a particular title. That's who we are, not kings and queens. We don't do that in Biafra land. In fact, you are the first person describing us as saying kings, king, queen, going to the cloud 9, and we think, we are above the world or what. No, that's not who we are. But continue. The
moment they intersect, invariably there's going to be a problem. One person says, I'm the king. The other person says, I'm the king. Invariably, they're going to start stabbing each other. They're going to start to do things against each other. They're going to start to try to undermine each other. There'll be jealousy. There will be envy. Out of that, there will be sabotage. And then you get into the very vicious and negative circle.
Lord have mercy.
Right? So that is a problem. And this is not a virtue. This is a very, very big weakness. And another problem that, Biafrans have that I've noticed is they try to portray everything about themselves as positive, including negative traits. This is not a positive trait. This is a very negative and self-destructive trait. This is actually one of your biggest problems.
Elias, that's not who we are, with all due respect. I think probably you should maintain your lobby stuff that you're doing. Maintain your lobby stuff. Because there's a problem. People are saying, Simon Ekpa said, don't talk about the lobby team. But if they cross the line and now they are referring to us as this and that, only a coward and a dummy will not speak. I'm not the type that bite my tongue for no one. Be careful, respect your lane, get back to doing your lobby stuff, and fine. You were contracted to be a lobby, be a spokesman for us in Washington. That's your job. Forget this thing to come into, to educate us. We don't need it. We are your boss. We pay you. Go back to Washington and get that job done, okay? That's what we're paying you for, not this. Oh my God, you guys are so, oh my God, have mercy. Hey, Lord have mercy. Ego Yubu. The green paper. Hey, my God, have mercy. It's Friday, I'm chilling, sipping my red wine, and watching this guy for the first time. And it's funny that he's saying all these things. Elias, this is not your lane, with all due respect. This is not your lane. You don't know much about the Igbo culture or the Biafran culture, because what you said, it is obiter dictum, out of point. We don't address ourselves as kings and queens. That's the Black American culture. They believe they came from, greatness, which is true. But at the same time, we the Biafrans don't speak that way. That's not in our lingo. Oh my God. Okay, let us hear you.
This is what's leading you to a lot of your own self-destruction. So let's try to be constructive here, right?
Okay.
My challenge to Biafrans is this, and this is going to be very difficult for some of you people because of your very big pride and ego. Very, very difficult, but will be very, very necessary. I want the Biafrans out there who have this mentality of I'm the king and I'm the queen,
hey,
and you're floating on a cloud, God, to once a week try to go throughout the day dropping this mentality of I'm the king or the queen. Just try to do this one time a week. This will be enormously difficult, probably maybe more difficult than anything else you have done. Very, very difficult. Not because it is difficult, but because you're so ingrained in this mentality. So try to go once a week. And believe me, in the beginning, this will be very, very painful. Now, once you're able to do once a week, then do twice a week, then do 3 times a week, going throughout those days without this mentality of I'm the king and I'm the queen.
The therapy, the last therapy.
Now, if you keep doing this, eventually you will have a change in your mentality.
Hey!
And you will become much more grounded. You'll become much more reasonable, be able to think much more rationally. And most importantly, a lot of the problems that have plagued the Biafrans or the Igbos in terms of jealousy, backstabbing, sabotage, self-sabotage, I can guarantee you with this change will be reduced by at least 50%. Right? Because a lot of the backstabbing, the jealousy, the self-sabotage, the sabotage of others comes from, oh, I'm the king, and because I'm not in charge, now all of a sudden I have to completely burn everything down.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Elias Gerasoulis. You were there in Finland, in Latin Finland. You were there. You observed everything. You saw how the event went, with all due respect. So what are you talking about? You saw people in unison. We were at peace there. There was tender, loving, and caring. We loved ourselves. We were our brother's keeper throughout the whole program, throughout the event. The convention was a great success. Now ask yourself, what went wrong? That's the question you refuse to ask yourself because you were one of those that caused that problem. At the convention that you came, you attended, you saw what happened, you saw the person who was leading the convention. Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE was the person leading that convention. And before the convention, the cabinet of Biafra, they sat down in a meeting where they voted 20-9. I repeat, 20 yeas and 9 nay. That's the CRC. The Conflict Resolution Council should be suspended until the return of Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, Prime Minister Mazi Ekpa Simon Onjoko. But after the convention, something happened. Your guy, your friend, the one that calls you my friend Elias, the one they call NKERE, who was just a minister of finance. He had a single portfolio as the Minister of Finance. But you were there at the convention where Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE read out the new cabinet. You were there where she mentioned there was a reshuffle in the cabinet. You were there. Everything went peaceful. Everything was fine. But suddenly, because your friend, NKERE, lost his position as the finance minister, he single-handedly resurrected the CRC. He had no power. He had no privilege, no such, to do such. There was no way a guy who was out of the government, who has lost his ministerial position, could have the authority to do that stuff. There was no, legal bank, there was nothing for him. He had nothing. There was no documentation, no policy, nothing that gave him such a power. That was the problem. He brought them back. And guess what? A conflict resolution council turned into an electoral body and made him the acting prime minister. That was the problem. I want to believe, you've been giving us all this advice. I hope you are also taking your time to do due diligence. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Go back and do the research. You were there with us in Finland. You saw what happened in Finland. How peaceful things were going. How amazing we were. How joyous the event was. You were there. So please, with all due respect, miss me with all this baloney you're talking about. You don't have the right to come here and school us, teach us, lecture us, counsel us on how to act. With all due respect, that's not your job, bro. We paid you to do a particular job. Get your ass back to Washington and get the job done. And stop, addressing us like kids. That's very, very wrong of you. I'm speaking this way because I'm really, really crushed. I'm pissed with the way you have just spoken to the Biafran people. You've got no right to address us. We are paying you as a contractor. Get down to Washington and lobby for the Biafran government. That is your job, bro. Because Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE invited you twice to have a roundtable discussion right after the program we had in Finland, and you denied that access. You refused to grant her a meeting. She came to you twice. Instead, you chose to respond on X, what they call the old Twitter. Somebody sent you an email, an official email from the office of the Deputy Prime Minister with the seal of the Prime Minister, demanding a one-to-one meeting with you to discuss the way forward with your funding, with your lobbying activities in Washington and the rest. Instead, you refused to respond to the Deputy Prime Minister, a woman you saw handle the whole situation in Finland. She managed you saw what she did, how amazing she conducted herself and managed the event in Finland. You were there, Elias. Clapping your hands, watching the confetti going up in the air. You enjoyed yourself. Yeah, you saw the love we gave you. We showed you affection. That's who we are. Nobody came to you and acted like a king or queen. No, we were there with you, hugging you, taking pictures with you, appreciating you, showering you with love, affection. We're being humble to you when we saw you. So this notion that, oh, everybody wants to be a king and queen, where the hell in the name of God did you get that kind of stupid notion from? That's not who we are. If you ask me, I would have called you an alien, that you literally just dropped into the planet Earth saying what you've just said. None of us have addressed ourselves as kings or queens. All you hear us say is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa. That's who we are. We are gentlemen. Mazi means Mr., not king. If we address our prime minister as Mr., Lord have mercy. Think about that. We address him as Mr., not king. Mazi means Mr. We're answering Mr. before the coming of the white man of Britain. They stole our swag from us. They came and they were shocked when they saw a parliamentary system taking place in Biafra land. Same way you have the House of Senate and the House of the Commons or whatever. They saw it in real time. The youths, African youths, age grade, sitting together, having a discussion. They come with an agreement. Then they go to the elder and tell the elder what they've agreed upon. That's who we are. That's our culture. So don't come here and twist things up and say, oh, we all think we are kings and queens. We are in cloud 9. When we are in the cloud 9, we want to grab the whole cloud in it. We are sitting on cloud 9 and we think we are the best. No, that's not who we are, man. With all due respect. Go back to the drawing board. Go and do your research. Go and do your research. Because this is my problem. I've told you, if you want to speak, discuss what you are doing for us in Washington. That's the assignment. Don't go beyond your scope to be lecturing us, with all due respect. You know nothing about my culture. Someone like you cannot lecture me about who I am. The same way I can't tell you shit about your Greek culture, your Greek gods, Zeus and the rest of them. So please, with all due respect, be careful, be mindful what you say about us. We are intellectuals. Most of us, we are intellectuals. Wherever we are, we excel. That's why they hate us in Nigeria. Even in Nigeria, we excel. But the other tribes, they are envious, they are jealous of us, and they want to see us down. They gave us 20 pounds to eat and die after the Biafran war. My dad, his own story was there. This man had houses. He was a millionaire in the 70s. Had about 10 different houses. And almost all the houses were stolen by the so-called Nigerians. And they came with a policy. They called it an abandoned property. A millionaire was left with $20 or 20 pounds to eat and die, or eat and become a beggar in Nigeria. That was how cruel and harsh those people are towards us. Still we rise like the things of old. We still rose out of the ashes. With 20 pounds, look at what we are doing now. Hence they are angry with us. Hence they envy us. Hence the Fulani Cabal wants to do everything to get rid of us. Hence, the presence of their so-called federal government is not felt in Biafra land. There is no fiscal policy, no monetary policy in the land of Biafra by that so-called zoo called Nigeria. A shithole country. You will not have you can't even feel the presence of their so-called federal government in Biafra land. That's the reason why we are saying we are done with Nigeria. We have washed our hands off and we have paid you to lobby for us. That's how it is, brother. That's all what you have to do. Forget about the rest. Don't come and lecture us. Don't come and tell us shit. We don't want to hear that. All we want to hear is updates on your activities in Washington. That's what we want to hear from you. Don't come and lecture us of who we are. That's not what you're paid for. We're paying you good money, bro. We are paying you good money. $10,000 a month, that's no joke, bro. So I understand, you're a bit tight. You're a bit desperate. But unfortunately, you were one of those that caused the biggest mistake. In fact, you shot yourself on the foot because our Deputy Prime Minister, Her Excellency, Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE, she came to you twice. She came to you twice to have a meeting with her. Just a meeting. And you declined her twice. Despite you were there in Finland, you saw how wonderful, amazing she was. How she was even in tears. You saw everything. You were there live in the flesh, in the physical. You were in Lahti, Finland. You were at the event. You were at the convention. You saw how everything went. And after the event, she reached out to you. But you ignored her. How dare you? So I blame you for this problem you're in now. I blame you because the Biafran people said, okay, we shall show you who is more Biafran. We shall show you who run the show. We shall show you where the money is coming from because we have stocked, we are sticking, and we are staying with Dr. NGOZI ORABUEZE until our Prime Minister is released. So please, next time, spare us this lecture. Spare us this lecture. We ain't here to hear that gospel from you about us. No. That's not what you're being paid for, mister. It's a business. It's a business. A formal business. You're a lobbyist for us. Go and lobby in Washington and come back to give us the updates. I rest my case, man. I won't even play the video anymore. People should be Biafrans. Don't allow people to speak to you this way. Be careful. We are bigger than this. We're better than this. Nobody can just come and talk down at us. Saying we see ourselves as kings and queens. What kind of nonsense is that? I rest my case. For those that have ears, in fact, let us hear him. Let us just hear him. Listen.
We see this problem, right?
Listen.
The reason why, for example, you have DOS people who say, well, if Simon is helping achieve Biafra, then we'd rather not have Biafra, is exactly because of this mentality. And you see how destructive this mentality is in statements like that.
No. They said that because they were the ones that sold out to Nnamdi Kanu. The Fulani cabal, they took the dollars, $9 million. They paid to the DOS. Some members, the head of the DOS and the rest of them. Hence, they saw Simon Ekpa as a stumbling block. They saw the rise of Simon Ekpa as the one to mess up the contract they had with the Nigerian government. Because according to the Nigerian government, they said Nnamdi Kanu was the end all and be all of Biafra. Kidnap him, Biafra is dead. Pay these guys as much as they want. Let them tell us where he was. And guess what? They smoked him out. They gave the location that he was somewhere in Kenya doing his broadcast, and Nigeria went to Kenya to kidnap him. And they thought that was it. Unknown to them, there was a young man in Finland who was a devoted disciple, one of the most beloved disciples of Nnamdi Kanu. But they called him a small boy. They called him a miscreant, a non-entity, a nobody. But they were shocked and dazzled how a young dragon rose to become the leader of Biafra. Hence, they refused to follow the directives of Simon Ekpa because to them, Simon Ekpa was a stumbling block. He was a problem. He was a clause. He was a new problem to stopping them enjoy their $9 million. Because they promised the Nigerian government, once we give you Nnamdi Kanu, that was the end of Biafra. Nobody will rise up. Unknown to them that the young man in Finland was to be the chosen one, was to be the Joshua to take us to the promised land. So that's where you got it wrong when you were saying, oh, the DOS, they refused to support Simon Ekpa because there was something involved. Money, 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 and money. Money makes the world go round, baby. Money makes the world go round. Money was involved. Hence, Simon Ekpa became the problem. And what did we, the Biafrans, do? What did we do? We told you the Biafrans don't have a king. We only follow the one that has the high sense and foresight. When we saw the nonsense the DOS was doing, the 80 million Biafrans, we turned around and we followed Simon Ekpa. That's the real story. That's the real history that I want you to know. Don't come and say, oh, the DOS, they refused to follow him. There was a reason why they refused to follow Simon Ekpa. Some even said, if Simon Ekpa will give us Biafra, let Biafra not come. Because Simon Ekpa was standing between them and their 90 or their $9 million. That's big money, huh? That's Nigeria for you. That's how far Nigeria can go. Hence, I'm telling you, you've got a job to do in Washington, bro. Forget this YouTube stuff you're doing. Forget this broadcast. You've got a job to do in Washington. Because you are dealing with a monster known as Nigeria. Nigeria will not stop. They will not relent. They love the oil they are getting from the land of Biafra. Blood money. They love it. Hence, those old, dirty, stinking idiots in Africa, in Nigeria, old men that should be in care homes, men on pampas, men that pee on themselves. They still want to be politicians. They still want to be governors. They still want to be senators. They still want to be president in Nigeria because they love the oil. Despite they hate the Biafrans with a passion, but they love that oil. Hence, they're saying Nigeria must remain one. All the tribes, they hate us with a passion. Imagine that. How can you hate the devil so much, but you love the smell, the aroma, the sweet savor from his roasted body? While he's roasting in hell, you love the smell. So hence, you are saying, I hate the devil, I rebuke the devil, but the devil must be in this house. That's a perfect example of Nigeria. Every tribe, they hate us with a passion. Let that sink into your mind. What we are dealing with is a monster. Hence, you've got a very big job to do. Go back to Washington and get the job done. Don't come here and lecture us about our culture. You don't know nothing about us. Get back to work in Washington. That's what you're being paid for. Continue. I'll give you the floor.
Where essentially, because of this very foolish pride and egotism, you are completely acting against your own self-interest to the point where you're going to completely destroy the ultimate goal just because you don't like someone or, you're not the one doing it. So this is a very big problem. I'm providing you a practical exercise, a spiritual exercise to address this problem. And, what I'm telling you here, I think has much more value than all those fake pastor evangelists, whatever they call themselves.
I agree.
As I've said, try going at first.
I agree. What you are saying now is more potent than those 419 pastors in Nigeria, or those voodoo men. I agree. Because I use logic to that level. What you're saying is far better than those pastors, those fake miracle worshippers. That's to show you we are not biased. When you say something that is right, I will support you. I will concur. I'll record your words and your sentiments when you say what is right. But it's only when you say something that is wrong, I am not a yes man. I'm not the type that will come and smile and laugh kiki with you. I'm not that type. We are peculiar. We the Biafrans, we are peculiar. A different breed, a different race. We are peculiar. That's why Britain is saying these people must be caged up in Nigeria. Imagine that. The other tribes, they hate themselves, but they work together against us. Imagine that. You guys don't know what we're going through. Elias, we have a job to do. That's what I'm saying. What you are doing now is, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't lecture us about our culture. You cannot sell ice to the Eskimo. You can't, you cannot sell ice to the Eskimo. They were born on ice. They live on ice. They sleep on ice. They give birth to their children on ice. So please, don't lecture us about Biafra. Don't tell us about our culture. We know who we are. Your job, what we need you to do is in Washington. Get back to the job. Get back to your job. Get back to your job and get the job done. That's how it is. It's a mutual thing. A contract is a mutual agreement. Get back there and get the job done. What you are doing now is beyond your scope. There was nothing signed for you to lecture the Biafrans about the Biafran culture. That's beyond your scope. Don't do it. Get back to, get back on track. Get back on track. Come here and update us what Washington is talking about. Come here and tell us what Trump is doing, the plans, the idea of Trump's for we, the Biafran people. The cabinet of Trump, what are they discussing? The foreign affairs of Trump, the team, what are they discussing? Tell me their plans towards Biafra. Don't come and lecture us, man. Don't come and tell us about us. That's something you were not paid for. And now you are working for free right now discussing this because it is not part of the contract. I'm speaking to you this way. I'll be blunt because I wasn't happy with the words you were using to describe us. I wasn't happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but I'll be respectful. Hence, I'm saying get back to Washington and get the job done. Continue.
Week, without thinking I'm the king and I'm the queen and I'm the great whatever. Then do 2 times a week, then 3 times a week. And then all of a sudden, in your day-to-day life, this mentality, which is a very foolish mentality, will be dropped, and you will be able to become more rational.
A very foolish mentality, Biafrans. Good for you all that love the man they call NKERE. Good for you all. He's called you guys. Your mentality is foolish. NKERE. If they give me, if they give me. If they give me, if they give me, give me. If they give me, nebata. The same way Oge was addressing us, very callous with his words, is the same way this man is addressing you guys, calling the 80 million Biafrans foolish. Hey, God have mercy. Need I say more? I told you guys, when I'm laughing, that's when I'm angry. Those that follow me, you know those words. When I'm laughing, that's when I'm angry. So for the fact I'm laughing now, you guys should know how I feel. Because of that, I will end it here. I can't take it no more. I will end it here. For the gullible ones that want to go and hear a lecture from this man about the Biafrans, go to his X page and finish up the video. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. God bless Biafra. God bless my people. And God bless Simon Ekpa. I love you all. Yeah. Biafra, Biafra. Yeah. Superstar media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.